Good morning, everybody. It's Patrick here with another Business Spotlight here in Lakeland, Florida. And I have a wonderful guest with us today, which I like to spotlight local businesses. And I have the Beth Cromwell, who's a business development representative for SmartTitle here in Lakeland. And Beth, how long have you been in the title business?
Oh, gosh, 17 years.
Okay, there you go. So, yeah, I know it was like right after graduation of high school, right? Just barely, right?
I was drinking. Yeah, just barely.
So you had, back then it was legal at 18, right? So, but anyway, so thanks for coming on with us. We appreciate you coming on. And title is always one of those mysterious things that people always talk to me about, and about title insurance, why it's important, including, I mean, obviously you guys do closings as well for buyers and sellers, and you prepare all that, all the documentation, and you make sure that we have a clean title and all that. So let me kind of jump into that right away. But first, let's just talk a little bit about COVID-19 and how that changed the way you guys operate in your businesses.
Okay. Well, when it first happened, obviously no one was prepared for it. No one ever saw this coming. So Aaron Davis and Amy Gregory and everyone, that weekend it all came down, all got together. And they're like, okay, we have to come up with some procedures that are going to protect not only our clients, but also our staff and our staff family. So immediately we went into doing just drive-by closings. So how those work is we were actually receiving the closing packages, emailing them out to the parties. The closing team would then call the parties to go over the documents on the phone. They would then schedule a time to actually drive up and do their closing from their car, from the safety of their car, and it limited the actual exposure that we had to each other. Also, with SmartTitle, we're part of the fan agency. We had actually been doing the raw and e-closings since 2018. So we were already prepared to go ahead and e-sign everything if the file allowed that to happen.
Okay, so the acronym RON stands for Remote Online
Notarization.
Notarization, right? So a lot of people don't know about that, but that's really where title is headed. And as we always like to say, the banks are always coming along, but they're coming along kicking and screaming and slowly and things like that. But our the mission in the future is to have all this done electronically. And so the days of landing and meeting and sitting at the closing table and paperwork being shuffled back and forth is really going to become at some point obsolete in the next few years, I would think, right?
I agree. And agents sometimes are worried that they can't attend closings, and the lenders, but they can. It's basically like just joining in on a Zoom call. So you have your realtor, you have your lender, you have your buyer, your seller, and the notary. So you guys are all pretty much in a secure chat room. It's not like Zoom. It's actually a secure notarized portal. But everyone's in this chat room together, so everyone can still see what's going on. And the best thing is, once everything's signed, it's sent off automatically to be e-recorded.
Right, so the recording happens immediately.
Immediately, and guess what? Funds can be dispersed immediately. So wires can go out immediately. There's no more delays. There's no more human errors of somebody missing a signature, because you can't go on to the next document until you've completed all the documents on that page.
Right. So what I'm visualizing is a Zoom room with the secure Zoom room. Nobody can get in except the parties that are invited, and they're in their comfort of their home or wherever they are. But they also have their computer pulled up with documents that they've either signed or pre-signed. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and so if there's any questions, so for example, if I'm a seller, and you can just kind of walk me through that signing, if I'm a seller and we're doing this Zoom room thing with my documents I've got pulled up through a secure email on your server.
Correct. It's actually a secured portal. Yep.
Right, a secured portal, and then I'm gonna read through those documents while I'm in the Zoom room.
Mhm.
And depending on my personality, it might take me 15 minutes or an hour. So to whatever I'm going to make sure I'm reading, right? Correct?
Correct.
So I'm going through there and I'm really just I'm clicking my initials and clicking my signatures where it's supposed to go. At the same time, I'm reading, scrolling and through and reading documents, stopping and asking questions if I need to. And my realtor is in the same room,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Correct.
Great. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is just amazing. Right now, the only experience I've had for remote closing is that the closer was 6 feet away from the car.
Well,
6 feet away the car at the curb, that being remote.
exactly.
So, right, with the customer in the car. So anyway, yeah, COVID kind of forced us to be, really forced us to be. Hurry up and get on with this remote closing stuff, right?
Exactly. And a lot of the lenders are getting on board. It's just the technology with the portals.
Yeah.
It's a lot of technology background. So they're definitely, everyone's all hands on. I do hope by this time next year, we'll have a lot more lenders on board. And this may be the new way we handle closings.
Yeah. Well, it takes time, resources, and money. And so depending on lenders' budgets, that's why things really take a little longer than what we'd like them to do, because every business has a budget. So yeah, tomorrow I have a scheduled closing with SmartTitle, and my folks are coming down, and they're not going to come inside. They're going to meet Amy. I think is our closer on the sidewalk. They're going to stay in their car, just for everybody's information. They're going to stay in their car, and Amy's going to hand them documents to sign with a sanitized pen
And gloves.
and gloves. Right. So anyway, so that's how it's working right now, and that's what the future is. So that's great. That's good stuff. So so in our business spotlight. You guys do a lot of business, right?
Yes, we do.
And care to share with kind of about what the
I lost you, Patrick.
maybe
sorry.
you still, yeah. Are you sorry about that? Are we back together?
Yes, we're back together.
So just a quick question: on an average month, how many customers do you guys serve? How many people do you serve? Property owners and new property owners.
Are you talking about, so you just want the
Closings.
number on the buyer side or altogether?
Both, just all that, closings in general.
Roughly about 80 to 90, give or take,
yeah.
each month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some months are higher, some months are lower. So
yeah. But that's SmartTitle, and you're part of the Fan Agency Network. You mentioned Aaron Davis, who owns the network,
correct.
Right? Fan Agency
You
Network.
want that number?
No. So anyway, but I've known Aaron for a long time, and he is super sharp and such a great guy and such a great business owner. So with that said, the other thing that many people don't know that I have helped you guys with from time to time is sometimes a buy owner, somebody that sells directly to the public. I have been on the buyer side of those and sent them to you. And so you can do type closings for just about anything, any type of real estate, can you not?
Yes, sir. We can do everything from commercials to bank-owned REO properties, short sales, for sale by owners, out of state, out of country, foreign. We can do them all.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, good. So with that said, let's kind of dive a little bit more into the details of some things that go on that I get questions about from my folks from time to time. So what is a lien search, and why do I need it?
Okay. So there's two types of searches that we conduct. The title company actually does what's called the title search. The municipality lien search is a separate search done by a separate company. Title companies do not do municipality lien searches. We do have NTS that Aaron owns also, but they are the ones that run the actual lien searches, also known as municipality. These searches check for utility liens, expired or unpermitted work done on the property, and code enforcement liens that are unrecorded.
Right.
So when you do a title search, the title search is only going to look for those items that are recorded on public record. The lien search is looking for stuff that's not recorded.
Right. For items that are not recorded. So the title search
Correct.
are what's recorded. You could find a recorded mechanics lien. We call it a mechanics lien, but from the stand, I did work for you at your house, and you paid me half of it, half of that big number, and because I want a security that you're going to pay me, I'm going to put a mechanics lien, what they call a mechanics lien, on your house by recording that document at the courthouse, and that way you can't sell the property unless you pay me, right?
Correct.
Right, there you go. So that's what a mechanics lien is and what it's for, in case anybody wants to know, and why someone might, someone might go to closing and go, what was that? I don't remember that. Who's, Johnny Handyman from from 2002. Oh yeah, I did have that work done on my house, and I didn't pay.
Yeah, that's how my house got painted.
Yeah. So right. So for the buyer buying the house, obviously they don't want to buy a house that has a mechanics lien stuck on it, right? But I think I typically find the water softeners are sometimes the culprit. Water softener companies, where they have a
they kind of don't explain that they will be putting a lien on the property, and sometimes the clients don't know that there's that lien on the property, but they do, just to secure their water softener debt. So
yeah, sure. So well, good. I think it's good to know. So back to title insurance, though. So in the title insurance, when you're looking on title, you're looking for anything that could be attached to the property, right?
Correct.
Any lien type things that are attached to the property to keep it from selling. Mortgage, mechanics lien. What are the other elements that you're looking at?
We're also looking at the chain of title to make sure all the parties that had interest have conveyed the property correctly. We're also looking to make sure there's no corrections needed in any of those deeds. Sometimes there's legal errors. Sometimes people fail to state if they're married or single, homestead or not homestead. So those are other things that we're looking for too.
Even typos, right?
Even typos.
Yeah. Yep, even typos. So so what happens when you find that error? Sometimes is that I've often heard the term cloudy title or cloudy deed. What does that mean?
When it says there's a cloud in the title, it means there's some kind of issue with it that's not allowing it to close. That usually is not related to our current seller. It's usually somebody back in the chain of title.
Right.
And that's why you need to get title insurance and close with a title company, so that way your title insurance policy will cover any clouds that may come up later down the road when you go to sell the property.
Oh, good. Right. So now cloudy titles, to get them cleared up sometimes can be costly, can it?
Correct. If you do not have your title policy, yes. Because let's say you bought a property through what's called a quit claim deed. Basically, when you buy something, you're buying it as is.
Right.
It's your responsibility. Whatever's on there, it's your problem. So if you buy it through a quit claim deed and you do not do your research and the title search on it, you may end up purchasing a property that has a code enforcement lien on it, let's say for $10,000, but you don't know anything about it. 5 years later, you go to sell it. Now that $10,000 lien is now $500,000. And we've seen them come in like that.
Right. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Or you might get a quit claim deed from a gentleman. So Mr. Smith gives you a quit claim deed, but he failed to tell you that Mrs. Smith owned half the property. So now you own half of a property and Mr. Smith's long gone. Right. So yeah, sometimes they can be very...
And a quitclaim deed is nothing more than an easy, simple way to transfer property from one to the next. So I've seen divorce situations handled that way, where they didn't get an attorney involved and things like that. And Joe and Mary got divorced, and Mary gave Joe a quitclaim deed. for her interest in the property, and she moved on and was gone. So
Correct.
so that's the good news, because she's gone from the standpoint of she's not going to create a cloud on the title. But the bad news, if they both quit claimed it to someone else and didn't do the proper work and research, some long lost great uncle guy's grandson comes along and raises his hand and go, my granddad had an interest in that property 30 years ago. Yeah. Right. So that's good. So yeah, people, title insurance is not inexpensive, but the cost of it is certainly not expensive if you ever have a problem. Right.
No, it's not.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. So that's a good reason to get it. So what are the most common ways people take title to a property, and how do I know which one is the right for me?
Yes. So if you are married, so if you're husband and wife, you should always take title as a married couple, husband and wife. In the event that one of you guys pass away, the property automatically goes to the surviving spouse.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a single person, say like I'm single, but I'm engaged to my fiance, Frank, we take title together.
Mm-hmm.
We should take title as joint rights with survivorship. So if I pass away, he automatically gets the property.
Right. I gotcha.
Correct.
I gotcha. So well, let's just say that my kids are here, which they're not. I have two boys, and they're off making their life elsewhere, not in Lakeland. So anyway, but let's say they were here, and I was getting on up in years, and that I wanted to make sure that they had the property upon my passing. So I went down to the courthouse and I filed a quitclaim deed or some type of instrument. I'm not sure it's a quitclaim deed, but I added them to my deed is what I did. I added them to my deed. So the three of us are on the deed. Is there any problem with that? So we both have a third interest of the. By the way, I have it homestead too. So is there any problems with any of that? That scenario?
Not really, as long as you guys are on there correctly, but you have to make sure how you guys actually leave it. You never want to take titles just person. You always want to have something behind that stating how the relationship is or how the property is can convey afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So, correct. So if something were to happen to you and it was you as husband and wife, it would go to your wife and then your son.
Right.
But let's say you and your wife weren't married, and you guys did not put that terminology on there. So there's three people on title. One person passes. Well, this person here who passes, now you have to do probate on 1/3 of the property because there wasn't anything behind there stating how you guys were to take title.
Ouch.
So it's important. Yeah, it's important when you guys want to start doing deeds, contact an attorney. Jim Holloway is the attorney for Florida Family SmartTitle. And he can prepare he will not do a quick claim deed. He will do a warranty deed for you guys.
Right.
For a couple $100. And trust me, a couple $100 is going to save you a couple $1,000 in probate.
Right. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say another thing too, because we're in Florida and a lot of people come here to retire. If you are getting up there, in age or to the point where maybe you have some health issues or you're just doing some planning for the future, Jim can also do what's called an estate deed, a life estate deed, or known as the ladybird deed. Basically, Patrick, you and your wife would own the property. You would then add your children onto the property. They do not have any interest or any rights to the property until both you and your wife have passed. So you and your wife can still sell, mortgage, refund. You could do whatever you want to it.
Right.
Upon your passing, it automatically goes to your children.
And what's that called again?
It's called a life estate deed or a ladybird deed.
Okay, gotcha. So that's more economical than doing a trust. Trust. Not to say that trusts are bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is trust can be really complicated, and trusts are really designed for putting more assets together for all the parties, not just one house, for example.
Correct. And you could give one house to your kid and one house to your other kid. Or maybe one kid,
Yeah.
you're happy with one kid and one kid gets it and the other one doesn't get it. I don't know. But yeah.
That's right. Where the Ladybird deed, however, doesn't exempt anybody unless I go back and change it. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. So there's more flexibility, more cost in a trust. Simple and easy Ladybird, just to make sure that the kids are taken care of that way, and you'll avoid the problems with probate and things like that you could have, with a simple deed. So sometimes cheap and simple is not can be the expensive way out.
Not when you're talking about one of the most expensive things you buy in your life is your home. Why would you want to go cheap?
Exactly. Very good. So, that's I think that's very helpful information for people to know and understand. So, and also that we've got a kind of, it sounds like a really clear path towards doing much more stuff electronically. I just didn't think that it would. I've been an electronic fellow from the standpoint of being in MLS. I happened to start my career in a town, Kansas City, that was one of the 4 MLSs in the country to go online.
Wow.
Yeah. And so while people were still with their DOS floppy and their Microsoft doing MLS that way with books, I actually saw one of those MLS books, but I didn't have to use it because I was in Kansas City at the time. But so anyway, I gravitated to this very quickly, and and it's amazing how fast it's going now. I mean, most people don't know this, but the iPhone came out in 2008 or 2009, something. I mean, it's only 10 or 11 years old.
Been longer than that.
Yeah, it seems like it's been forever. So, so this process that you're talking about with your title company is amazing, because that's just one short year away, really. Mm-hmm. So, well, Beth, anything else you'd like to add before we?
Nope. Well, thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome very much, and we appreciate all your knowledge and wisdom about title, and look forward to doing some more business with you. If anybody needs any title help or questions answered, Beth's phone number is right there. Feel free to mark it down and give her a call anytime. So you'll be glad to help, because you always help me. So anyway, thank you so much for being such a great ambassador to Title and SmartTitle, and also to our company, Keller Williams. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Patrick. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.